Was Baba Yaga worshipped by the ancient pagan Slavs? This is a question I've had on my mind ever since reading the Krivich Christian and Yaga, a story about the clash between the old and the new faith in ancient Rus, centered around her immortality. In dense, dark forests, amidst the high mountains, there stood an earthen hut overgrown with moss. In it lived a young man who long ago had left behind his homeland when he came to the new faith, seeing his people, the Krivichi, still consumed by evil, the shameful evil. Near him, in the thicket of oaks, inside of a bottomless abyss, on dreadful chicken legs, there whirled a little hut. And while changing itself often, it would seem now a tower, now a wondrous chamber, now a darkened cavern, now a shrine of Veles. In that little hut there lived and dwelt the chieftain of all vile rabble, of forest spirits, the imaginary ones, Yaga Baba, the intricate, a sorceress and deceiver. We learn that one day of the year, the people of the surrounding villages come flocking to her. They smoked for her, they censed for her, and sang to her. They ate with her, before her they bowed. Others still, the ailing, the feeble, and the poor, would bring to her as sacrifice their lost daughters. After surviving a near-deadly encounter with Yaga, the Christian stumbled upon her hut and her 3 daughters, armed with bows and arrows. From them, he learned that most of the girls given to Yaga were sold to other tribes, and the rest she kept for herself. They would become her servants, her guards, her hunters, and when the time came, one of them would become her replacement. This is how she became eternal and how the Krivichi people came to worship her. Plotting his revenge and wanting to rid his people of what he saw as shameful evil, he tricked the 3 daughters into allowing him a night's stay in the hut with a damask knife. And when sleep overcame her, in one foul swoop, he put an end to Yaga and took her daughters as tribute. He told the Krivichi people of her deceit, and from that time on, they no longer worshipped Yaga. Now, does this prove that the Krivichi people worship Baba Yaga? No, not really. The story was captured in the 19th century, long after their conversion to Christianity. And as we can see, the people of the time saw the lives of their pagan ancestors as sinful, having fallen victim to malevolent forces. But it doesn't mean that the story is completely fictional. Yaga can be seen as a symbolic target, an embodiment of the Slavic people's pagan beliefs, and her fall representing the suppression of those beliefs by the new faith. But we can also view Baba Yaga as just another way those beliefs have survived throughout the centuries. The old faith was not completely eradicated, because for a long time people practiced dueverie, double faith, holding pagan traditions alongside Christian ones. So we can use stories like this as breadcrumbs, leading us to discover aspects of our ancestors' lives now long forgotten. In 1827, Mikhail N. Marakov wrote the Krivich Christian and Yaga, which he based on an ancient Smolensk oral tale. He himself believed that Baba Yaga was some kind of Slavic deity known to us from folk tales. Half a century before his adaptation, in what was the earliest attempt at interpreting Baba Yaga's identity, the writer Mikhail Chulkov declared that the Slavs venerated the underworld goddess by this name, Yaga Baba, representing her as a frightening figure seated on an iron mortar with an iron pestle in her hands. They made blood sacrifices to her, thinking she fed it to the 2 granddaughters attributed to her, and that she delighted in the shedding blood herself. It's this kind of ideas that Marakov would have been familiar with when adapting the tale, and they may have seeped into his writing in such details as Yaga's hut appearing as a shrine of Velis, the god sometimes associated with the underworld. Marakov said that he lost the original along with other papers in 1812 and rewrote it from memory. So whether we take his word for it or we disregard the story as fake lore, we can still find use for it in the study of Baba Yaga's identity. The power of her character can also be seen in folk belief, where her name is being used in magic incantations and curses, suggesting that the practitioners believed she represents a real supernatural force. Baba Yaga ignites love and passion in a spell practiced in Novgorod province. In the open field there is a Saracen oak, and under the Saracen oak there are thrice 9 maidens. From under the Saracen oak comes Baba Yaga and lights thrice 9 oak wood fires. As the oak wood burns, so too should the person whose name is mentioned in that spell. Other spells that evoke her name were used to stop bleeding, heal snake bites, or even calm sleepless children. Although I don't remember calming down when my grandmother threatened to give me away to Baba Yaga. It's very unlikely that Slavic pagan people worship the Baba Yaga we see in folktales, and if I can oversimplify, it's possible that old beliefs about a particular force of nature, passed on through traditions and rituals, would have eventually entered into their stories, forming the character we know and love today. And unlike in this tale, Christianity did not succeed in killing Baba Yaga, for she retreated into the world of the folktales, and in their retelling, we keep her alive to this very day. I couldn't find this tale in English, so I got a professional to translate it, so if you want to read the English version or the original Russian version, check out my profile. I love you all, I'll see you in the next one, bye bye!